Samples as representative samples. Hi, in this lecture we discuss why random samples tend to be representative samples. First, let's revisit what we mean by random and random sample. Random means that each element in a population has an equal chance of being selected at that moment. If there are some number, for instance n elements in a population, then the probability of selecting any one is 1 over n, so long as the selection process is random. This only holds if this selection process is random, if we're using random sampling. Representative samples are better than biased samples. Representative samples better reflect the frequency of characteristics in a given population than do biased samples. For this reason, representative samples are superior while biased samples are inferior. When we talk about population features, this is another way to define this is to say that this is a population parameter. So we're trying to estimate the population parameter from the sample. Remember that a biased sample does not accurately capture the population's features or the population parameter. And remember, biased is bad and representative is good. You could also say biased is bad and representative is rad. That's a bit 80s, but it might work for you as well. Why are random samples better? Well, let's think about this in terms of probability. For a random sample, each element at a given time has a 1 in n chance of being selected. For a biased sample, so for a random sample, the probability of selecting any one element is always 1 over n, at least at that point in time. For a biased sample, the chance or probability or likelihood of selecting any one element at a given time changes from element to element. Some elements are more likely to be chosen, while others are less likely to be chosen. So for some elements, they have a greater than 1 over n chance of being selected, and for other elements, they have a less than 1 over n chance of being selected. Why do we care? The perennial question. We care because the primary reason for going to all the trouble to collect sample data is to collect data that allows us to accurately estimate some characteristic of the population. That is, we're trying to figure out what the population parameter probably is based on a sample statistic. In other words, we care about random samples because they tend to be more representative, all other things being equal. The best way to collect a representative sample is to ensure that our sample is random, because this means that our sample is much more likely to produce an accurate estimate of the population feature that we're actually concerned about. So remember, by definition, a biased sample overcounts some elements and undercounts others and will not be representative. Biased is bad. Random is rad.